Hello, Dread Mechanic. I'm back once again for part 7 of my Building Tiny Mech Drones stream. Where were we then? Yesterday's session, I started building a strange spider type contraption. And the prototype version worked pretty well, surprisingly. After the stream, I experimented trying to get some more arms onto him and make him into more of an arachnid with 8 limbs, and that kind of works pretty much as well as that one does. And then I decided I want to try and condense him down a little bit and make him a little bit smaller. And in doing so, created a few issues for myself. Biggest one being his leg span isn't quite as big as it was, obviously, so he doesn't get as much travel or momentum when he's moving, and obviously his legs don't move as far, or yeah, it's created some issues. So I have been experimenting with trying to make him a little bit more efficient with the smaller legs. And I've been having mixed results so far, but not been too bad. I managed to squeeze in another event controller to speed up the walk cycle a little bit, which has helped. Although because he has a much shorter stride now, it has caused some issues. I've needed to add another thruster to the back to give him a little bit more of a push, which has caused some power issues. It's the problem trying to make things tiny and small and that kind of thing. So I'm thinking I might need to try and reclaim a bit of space on the inside. Obviously a bad place to put that gyroscope. And to do that, I could possibly get away with cutting out some of these event controllers and replacing their functions with just the one, because all these do is return the legs, drop the legs back down again. One for each leg, but technically I actually only need 2, because it has 2 sets of 3 legs that move in sync with each other. The front left, the rear left and the middle right all move at the same time. So I could effectively stick the return command on just those first 2. So I could in theory turn this one, this one, this one and this one off. As you'll see, the legs, the rear 4 legs aren't behaving properly now. But if so that's front left, so we'd want middle right to reverse and reverse. And we would also preferably want to stop that altogether. So let's sort that out properly. We've got front left, mid right, leg hinge, rear, left. We'd want them to return as well. Reverse. Reverse, and then we could do the same with the front right. Got front right, leg hinge, middle, left, and rear. Right. Now I just need to sort out some of these hinges because they've all got a bit screwy. What's screwed up there then? Just do it manual way. That's wrong. There we go. It's to be that, it's to be that, it's not to be that. Do that. Oop. There we go. There we go. That's been reduced down to just those two. Oh, that's wrong, isn't it? That's right, let's try that again. Why is that back leg doing weird stuff? Why are both the back legs doing weird stuff? Oh, because they're the opposite way round, that's why. Shit. That's why they're doing weird stuff. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Hang on. That should make a difference. That should still... Maybe. That's not going to work properly with the rear two legs. So they seem to be misbehaving. I don't know why though. Oh, hang on, I know why. Yeah, I know why. Because of the way they're set up. Okay, maybe then. The wrong second then. Middle right 2, middle right 3. Oh, there. Or, actually, it would work. I would just need to potentially Change the way around that the rear lights are working. So what is this? Front left. Rear left. Right, I'll put them back. And try something else. Yeah, those back legs are doing weird stuff half the time. Yeah, I think it's to do with... It's to do with the way round these rear legs have been oriented. Stop. And that's turn off. And that's turn off. No, that doesn't seem to be helping, does it? Seems to have screwed it up even more. Reverse that. Reverse that. Let's try back to the way they were. Wrong thing. Yeah. It's just not playing nice, is it? So, let's turn them back on. And let's take that out there. And that out there. Yeah, it seems to work fine for the middle legs, because they're essentially just an extra set of front legs the way they're set up. You turn it on and off 1,000 times and it doesn't get screwed up. I mean, I've got it like that. Right, in that case we might only be able to harvest two extra spaces, so let's chop that out either side, because we don't actually need it. I need to turn that off. I was going to get booted in the face. Yeah, right. So, an issue we were having, as well as all the other issues, was power. It was a big issue. I reckon I can resolve it by doing a bit of jiggery pokery. Right, that can come out. No. If I stick a T block, is that the right way around? The right way around. Yeah. Oh, no, it can't be a T-block, it needs to be... Needs to be one of them. Because I need a connection there, I need a connection there for the guns. Right, let's try a reactor either side like that. Then, above the reactor, we will stick 2 gyros. We'll have one facing either side. Fill that gap back in. Damn it, warp cycle controller, warp cycle number 3. That's what that is. Take that targeting block out. There's another gap in the middle. Well, we'll test this first and see if that's made any sort of difference. Right. Let's turn your control systems on. Your AI is enabled. These thrusters are definitely firing. Oh, there you go, you're working much better now. Oh, look at that, you're going nice and quick. Yeah, okay. What if then? Where is it? What if I shove another gyroscope in there? We could shove a gyro in there. And we could stick a relay back on top of it. Can't really see it. And then there's going to be an offensive block. What have you got? 3 gyros. Oh. Need to do control systems on. That's the one. Hmm. You seem to struggle. Both. Doing right turning away from me. Yeah, see, you're having this fucking problem again. Hmm. You don't seem to work as well as the bigger version. We increase the speed on your legs even more. 30. Minus 30. 30. Minus 30. Minus 30. And 30. Hmm. Increase the suspension friction. Nope, when you do that, you start doing weird stuff. Let's put that back down to 25 again. Put it to 0 and it just skates along. Those thrusters still seem to have issues pushing it forward like they're supposed to. I'm not quite sure what the problem is. As he won't seem to get above 2 meters a second. Leg rotors, leg rotors. Back down to 20, maybe moving too quickly. Are those thrusters even on? For God's sake. What is going on? On. Off. Why is that off? Or is that part of the problem when your thrusters wasn't on? No, you still seem to be struggling a little bit. Reduce these back down again. Where they are for now. Minus 60 and 60. That one's off again. What keeps turning that off? Is that not part of this? No, it's not. That's why. On. Oh, right. Yeah, that's why it's getting screwed up. Okay, seems to actually be moving a bit better now. Okay. Doesn't seem to be able to do more than 4 meters a second though. 3 meters a second. It is what it is. Right, come on then, Spiderbot. We'll leave you as is for now. I want to try something else. I've been swearing at you all afternoon. Bum 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 bum. Right. Let's, before I do anything, I want to keep these prototypes for later. I might want to do more with them. Being Mark II, just so to differentiate it. Go. This one can get called the Mark III. Not going too badly. He's going quite quickly. Spider making his way over here. No, anyway, in the meantime, while Spiderbot's making his way back, I did have... Oh, hello people. Hello Umbral Draconics. How you doing? And hello Pogo Kids. How you guys doing? Right, Spiderbot is still slowly making his way over here. I wanted to try another weird bug-related idea I had. Because I'm always having weird ideas for mechs. I wanted to try making a little weapon platform type thing that's kind of similar in style to the dog bots that I've made. But I wanted to make it more like an ant. And the idea I had was to have a segmented body, like a middle section with legs, a front section that's a head with a weapon on it, and a rear section that's an abdomen, potentially with another weapon on it. And I might try and make it work in a similar way to the spider, but a little bit better. Let's have the spider follow us around for now. So, idea was, let's steal the colour from the spider. So, the idea was essentially going to be a big long torso, well, not a big long torso, but it needs to have a conveyor network running through the centre of it, at least. And then similar to the little spider bot, it's going to need potentially 3 sets of event controllers. 3 sets of event controllers. 1 for each leg. I'm thinking, for now, I'll do that, not that, and that, and have the legs spaced out like so. We can have controllers to control them. You know what, that might just delete all the wrong things. I think I might. Where have we gone? Event controllers. Stick them like that. So that way I can more cleanly attach. So what was the idea I had? I wanted to try a weird leg setup. Something different. So the idea I had was something along the lines of maybe something like this. It's probably not going to work. I think the spacing might be an issue. We could maybe have something. That's going to be way too long. Oh, honestly. The thing I always forget, every time, without fail, no matter how long I've been playing this game and building mechs. Right, so the idea I had was something like that with a rotor on the end. And then where is it? Something like that maybe. Oh, obviously. It's gonna give me shit to try to join that onto the ends because the connection point is bang in the middle. Oh. Grab it from. Oh, is it not? It got a connection point on the end. Fucking should do. Something like that, maybe. Just thinking, the leg would. Lift up and down like so. So we made the lower limit minus 35 for now. Upper limit minus 25. Make that minus 45, so lift a little bit higher. I'm wondering if, like that, minus 20, 20, and a bit of velocity. See, that's going to be a problem with spacing on the legs, they are going to collide. Maybe that idea is not going to be that practical. Might just have to do sweeping legs again. Don't just end up exactly the same as the spider. Like it to be a little bit different. But I might. If I want to do it this way, I might have to space the legs out more, which ruins the whole idea of having a nice little compact neck. There's 0, there it is. Yeah, because they're absolutely going to clash. Maybe then, maybe we could. Maybe we could add another point of articulation. What if we had a rotor that is facing down? Is that full extension? One of them underneath. Try that. And then we could have that for some lift. Yeah, okay, try that. Put that there, that can go on the end again, like we were going to do before. Put that on the end like so. And then we could give the rotor, say for now, 10 degrees either side of centre. That way, and that way. And then we could give the leg 10 degrees either side. And so that would lift on down. They can potentially move together. That can lift up. That and that can move forward. Probably a bit further. And that can come down again. That push back, but then we'd still clash in the middle there, wouldn't we? So that could in fact make that -10. Oh, no, go the other way. That's the one. That's -30. -45. And that can come back to -15, so that's got 20 degrees of travel. Okay, that might work. A bit more space to move. 0 and 0. Let's try it. Hinges. Get rid of that. And obviously I cut the wrong thing off there. One face down. Face up. Oh yeah, we need to build the rotors. So, all the way around is that 0 is on the outside. Yeah, Spider-Bolt's not doing too badly. I do need to do more work on him. I want to get this other idea out of my head first. Right, so let's see if we can cheat. Will you let me, first of all, lock them? Face out of the way, there we go. It's life easier. Where are we? There we are. Cool. Right. So. Oh yeah, I need to take the locks off all these rotors. I still think that's going to be too close. Maybe 25. So over here we do 45. And 25. Give it some RPM. Try that. So that's 20 degrees, isn't it? So we'll make this one minus 10. 10. Degrees there, plus the 10 degrees in that hinge rotor means the feet should collide, but they should have a decent range of movement. Hopefully. Right. Let's try and make this madness work. So what do we need to do? We need switches for the leg controls. I need lights. On the legs. So let's do something weird. Let's use them. Let's make it as spiky and robotic and as strange as we can. Okay. So we can call this leg light FL01. We will make it cyan, like I usually make the leg control lights. Bring that down a bit, bring that down a bit. Copy all. That can be middle left. That can be rear left. That can be front right. I think that's the sound of one of my mechs falling over again. There's some clanging somewhere. Or maybe it's you just walking into stuff. Anyway. Right, that can be middle right, and that can be pasted for a start, and then that can be rear right. So let's just quickly sort out some of these rotors. So that's going to be leg rotor front left 0 1. You know what? 1 2 3 5 6. I might as well stick it on 1,000,000 now, because it's only going to get real heavy later. So copy all. U will be the same as the rear leg. Do that. What are you? In fact, I sorted you out, didn't I? Mostly. 1 2 3 4 5 6 zeros is 1,000,000. Dum to dum. Maximum extension, so it's not scrubbing on stuff. Leg rotor rear left 0 1 will be the same as the front right leg. That would be if I'm gone the wrong way with stuff. There we go. Right. Yeah. Right, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, this doesn't look like it'd be too bad. Extend that all the way. Make that 1,000,000. That's all good. Leg rotor middle left 0 1, and you will be the same as the right hand side. I just have to keep doing that stupid crap. Come on. There we go. And we'll have this leg hinge. 20 degrees will be enough for now. For now we'll just call that 400,000 share inertia tensor on. Leg hinge front left 0 2. That will be exactly the same on every single leg. So we can just copy and paste that to all of them. Pull that rear left. Call that one front right. Call that one middle right. And that one can be rear right. Then these... For now, I'm just going to stick with it being 10 degrees either side, I think. So, I'll leave that as is. Rotor displacement. We'll actually bring that in for these ones because they're on the end. They're not going to scrub on anything. That we will call leg rotor FL03. And that's going to be the same on every other leg as well. Mid left. The rear left. Rear right. Middle right. Let's have those. Let's have the legs set up like that as the default for this mech, I reckon. Paste that. That can be front right, reverse that, so the legs are in that kind of orientation as the default, maybe. Let's try and figure out how to make this work. So for now, let's bung a control seat on the back to make life easier. We got, right. Oh, we also need to name controllers. That can be controller, leg FL01, copy all. 102. Middle left. Rear left. Rear right. Copy all. And then this will all make sense in minutes. Right, 01, and then... Oh, hang on. Oh, I've named some of these the wrong way around, haven't I? Oh no. Front right, 02. Yeah, right. No. Leg controls. Where the weird stuff begins. Right, so the first leg controller is going to be block switched on and off, controlled by that leg light switching on and off, and when it does, it is going to reverse that first rotor. Not detach, that's absolutely the worst thing to do. I hate the fact that those buttons are so close together. That can do that, so then that light will make that first leg move back and forth when you turn it on and off. we need it to do is put it in that position. There's our second rotor in that way. There, isn't it? Let's reverse that. So what we want it to do is when it moves forward, we want it to lift and swing the other section of the leg forward. So the next thing we want it to do after that would be to reverse that hinge and reverse this front right 0. There's a rotor missing there. Let me just check something. Ah yeah, that's why, because that is still called rear left. Right, back to what we were doing. Leg control. So when that lifts, it is going to, when it moves forward rather, it's going to lift that hinge and it is going to push that rotor forwards. Stick all the leg lights on the toolbar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. That'll do that. But then, for number 2, what we want is for it to look at the angle of the first leg, that leg hinge. And when it gets to just before -45, we want it to trigger and bring it back down again. Leg hinge is the lower end of it, so it needs to be less than -40 for now. So we'll go with less than -40. Just click that up. Oh wait, no, less than -50. What would it be? I always get that wrong. Less than -50. Turn it. What we need to do is actually set it up. Oh, actually. We probably need to do this the other way around. What we probably actually need to do is have these two rotors move in unison and that hinge move separately. I think I'm going to need to do it like that instead, so let's try it like that instead. You can shut up, cat. Oi! Stop fucking around. Sorry, my cats are misbehaving. So let's in fact do it like that instead. Yeah, so if we have that reverse there, like so. To be there. 1, 2. Reverse, yeah. And then have that lift there. God damn it, that detach button again. And then when that hits its angle, all it needs to do is just return that hinge. What are you doing? When it gets to that should. Why is that not working? Why are you not working? Maybe I have set it up wrong. Oh yeah, I have. There you go. It needs to be less than 40, because I'm an idiot. Right, so that is basically the idea I had. Need to do that 5 more times. But that is more or less the idea I had, with maybe a suspension or something on the end of the leg. That seems to be working alright. So let's do that 5 more times. Front right 0, 1, let's do that. Block on and off. Not block integrity, block on and off. Thank you. Leg, light, front right. And we'll have that reverse and that reverse. And then the opposite way around, have that reverse and then that reverse. And then at the end of that we can reverse that hinge. And then when that angle gets to less than minus 40, it will return that leg hinge and drop it back down. Like so. There we go. So that's number 2. If we offset the first 2 lights, that's like the beginning of the walk cycle pattern. Right. Cool. So this might work. Middle left. Same thing again, block on and off. Leg light, middle left. And then we'll have the... Oh, I've got 2 ML01 rotors there, that's not helpful. That's middle left 01. And that is middle right 01. So, leg controller, mid left, 0, 1, where are you? There you are. So we will reverse you, on the opposite page. On the next page we'll do the opposite. And then we will reverse hinge mid left 0, 1. Mid left 0, 2 can be angle changed, less than, minus 40. Leg hinge, mid left, 0, 2. Leg hinge, mid left, 0, 2. So now if we hit 3 button, it's going the wrong way round. What we need to do is take that leg rotor . Oh, hang on, I wanted to have the legs like that, didn't I? Ah, so, in fact, with that one, with mid left 0, 1, we want to swap that to the other side. so that when we turn that light off, it lifts. Because I want that to be the default position, and I want all the lights to be on in the default position. There we go, that'll solve that. Leg, mid-right. Lock on and off. That's not... Why have you copied that from the fecking clipboard, you fool? That was me setting up my stream. Ugh, whatever. I'm sure I copied the word leg light to my clipboard. Thank you. Mid right 01. There we go. So middle right, reverse, 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 and then mid right hinge will be on the second slot, so that when we hit button number 4, we forgot to do something, didn't we? We forgot to set up the second one altogether. How do we manage to do that? Mid right, less than minus 40, leg hinge, mid right 02, mid right 02. So number 4. There we go. Move forwards and up, down and back, forwards, up, down, back. Cool, right, so last 2 legs, and then we can figure out the walk cycle. How to make those controls. To be honest, I'm going to finish making these legs work, and then I'm going for a quick break and grab a cup of tea. And then I'll come back and finish the walk cycle, and we'll try and get this thing moving around. My previous experience, I'm going to start with at least 2 gyroscopes. So I had to do a lot of screwing around to get 2 gyros into him. 1 gyro is not enough when you start making things a little bit larger. Leg light, mid left, oh, rear left. Hinge, rear left, reverse, 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 hinge, rear left, reverse that. Angle changed, less than minus 40. Leg hinge, rear left 02. Leg hinge, rear left 02, reverse. So number 5 should do that. There we go. Fantastic. Right, one last leg and then I'm going to go for make a brew. So, block on off, leg light, rear right, leg hinges, rear right, reverse, 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 and reverse, and then we'll stick reverse for the rear right hinge there, and that can be angle changed, same as all the others, less than minus 40 degrees, leg hinge, rear right 02, and then rear right 02, reverse. So if I tap number 6, it lifts and does all the things it's meant to. So what we would need to do is offset number 1, number 4 and number 5, and then if I pressed all 6 of them together, we've got slightly the wrong pattern. Figure that out in a second. Ah, that'd be the one. So I need that facing that way, that's facing that way, so that'd be the one. Yeah, so then it'd end up being something like that. You just need to make a walk cycle timer to do all of that for us. And we can set up some controls to make everything return to default positions. We turn the stuff on and off. But I'll come back to that in a second. Now enjoy my spider walking around while I go and make a cup of tea, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Right, I'm back, fresh cup of tea in hand. How far did he get? About half a kilometre. Nice. Right, let's go back to making this robot ant thing. So, we've figured out the basics of how his legs are going to function. What we then need is a timer well, it's the first thing we're going to need. We need lots more parts, but the first, most basic part that we're going to need next is a timer block, which we will name Walk Cycle. Big capital letters so I can see it properly. So the walk cycle will simply just turn these leg lights on and off. So what we'll do is we'll get everything into the orientation that it needs to be. So that'll be there, that'll be there, that'll be there, and that'll be there, I think. We'll find out in a second if it looks weird or not. You can trigger the walk cycle timer. There you go. And that operates the whole thing. I'll stick it in spectator mode and get a slightly better view. There we go. That timer now controls all the legs. What we need is a way to automate that, like all the others. And the way I used to do it was with the precise timer script and a programmable block, but these days I like doing things as vanilla as possible, so I'm going to once again use my little vanilla system. So, what I'm going to need is a couple of event controllers and rotor and a few other bits. You know what? I want to put. Where do I want to put the rotor? I'd like to put the rotor bang in the middle underneath. Well, that is where my little support structure has been placed, so let's rebuild that. That way I can take that out and I can slap there it is, bung one of them right in the middle underneath. That can be walk cycle rotor. The only thing about this we really need to do is give it a bit of braking torque so it doesn't spin indefinitely when it gets turned on and off. And the other thing I usually do is decorate it with a sound block, because I can get some mech sounds into it with that, and it also seems to be one of the very few blocks that doesn't scrub on anything. I can pack that in on all sides with blocks and it won't do horrible things. So we've got that rotor, then we need a couple of event controllers. So for now I'm going to start with just two. Don't think I'm going to need as many as I did for the spider. So I had to pack 3 event controllers into the spider to get his legs to move as quickly as they do. I don't know if I want to do the same thing with the ant. I might not want his legs to move as quickly. We'll find out. For now, we'll just go with 2. So we'll have controller walk cycle 01 and controller walk cycle 02. So what these controllers are going to do is they are going to... Oh, sorry, I didn't see your messages there. Leo, what controller are you using to group the legs? Ah! if you've come into the stream late, I have got a pair of event controllers for each leg. There's 6 legs, so there's 12 event controllers in total, and that's just to control the leg animations. The first one is triggered by a light turning on and off, and when that light turns on, it reverses the 2 rotors in the leg and reverses the hinge, and when it turns off, it just reverses the 2 rotors back again. The second event controller in the pair looks at the angle of the leg's hinge, and when that gets to the top of its lifting animation, it will automatically drop itself back down again. So the end result is you get a light switch that does that movement just by turning it on and off. Oh, the radial menu is the Build Vision mod. It's either Build Vision or Build Info. I can't remember which one. It's a mod that is available on Steam. But yeah, so there's that setup. You can see the event controllers blinking away as I do it. And there, like I said, there is a pair set up like that for each leg individually, so they all work together. And yeah, I'm like halfway through building the walk cycle for this thing. But the way that works is how all these other mechs work. All these other walkers all got pretty much an identical setup in them that control the walk animations using lights to turn them on and off. You can see the event controllers for that mech's legs blinking away there. It's got one on that side, one on that side, and it's got some AI blocks in it and a little thruster to help push it along and help the AI blocks function properly. But yeah, that's how all these other walkers work. It's just lights blinking on and off, controlling hinges and rotors and making them move back and forward. And there's lots of them in that little dude there, because he's got very flappy legs that flick around everywhere, when he's still got a yellow block attached to his bum, because I've not finished building him properly yet. But yeah, the next stage, which I was just doing, is to add all of those lights into a walk cycle block, which will then, hang on, trigger the whole thing together. Hang on, some of these legs are out of alignment now. That way. There we go. Oh no, something's still screwed up there. There we go. Right, that's the right pattern for 6 legs. So yeah, now I'm trying to automate that. So the next stage is setting up these walk cycle event controllers. Like, event controllers are my absolute favourite block in this game these days. They are so versatile and you can do so much weird stuff with them. You've just got to have a little think about it, but you trust me, you can do some weird stuff with them. In fact, before I go mad with that, one of the cool weird things I've done with event controllers is these cranes for my aerial drones. If I go into spectator again so we can see this a little bit better, I can turn that on with an event controller. It's controlled by that flashing yellow light at the top, and there's a bunch of event controllers that all kick in to make it do that. I can then control the arm. Why have we not got any left and right movement with that? There's something broken on this controller. Azimuth rotor. Oh. Drone arm. Where is it? Drone arm rotor 01. There we go. Yeah. I wonder why that unset itself. Oh crap, there's a drone in the way. But yeah. What I was saying is, when I'm in control of that, I've broken something on this arm. Ah, there we go. That movement there, that forward and backwards movement, that is controlled by some thrusters. That is controlled by some little ions that are tucked in there that are triggering event controllers that move that arm back and forth. And what it's doing is it's got an event controller that is adjusting the RPM on the piston to increase it by 1 increment and reduce it by 1 increment as the thruster turns on and off, and effectively what you get is a stop and start. And if you set one up for each direction, you can have a forwards and a backwards control. But anyway, enough of that nonsense, let's put that crane away before it crashes into another drone. Ah, what's that saying? You like making hover mechs with torsos and arms. Oh god, yeah, the torso controls. That's what controls all of the arms on all of these dudes. They've got a pair of turret controllers for each arm, so there's one turret controller that does the shoulder section, another turret controller that does the elbow section, and together in unison they make a nice little functional arm. But yeah, event controllers are brilliant, mate. You can do all sorts with them. Like I said, I've made a controllable piston using 2 event controllers, 2 lights, and in fact I used 4 event controllers because I've got 1 event controller that is turning lights on and off, and the light turning on and off is what does the piston back and forth, and then I've got another event controller that is controlled by the thruster, and then when you turn the thruster on and off, that triggers the light turning on and off. So it kind of breaks all the controls down into separate little stages. But yeah, back to this craziness. So we were going to set up this walk cycle control. So walk cycle. So what we're going to do is we're going to have these 2 event controllers look at that walk cycle rotor that we just built. And as that walk cycle turns, as that rotor spins around in a circle, it is going to trigger this event block. And what I usually do, aim properly without having 2 weapons on 1 arm. I've never really had much of an issue with that in particular. The trick I've always, I don't know, it might be a way of setting them up. What I always do is when I set the arms up, I have both arms are using the same camera as the targeting reference, but only the end section has control of the gun. Because I found if you have both controllers if you have both controllers using the same weapon, I find that they end up fighting each other for control of the weapon. Whereas if I just set them up so that 1 arm is aiming and 1 arm is shooting, essentially, and I seem to get fairly decent results with that. However, if both arms have the gun to play with, I find that the arms tend to jiggle around a lot, as they're trying to aim at separate things. Yeah, if you're having that problem, try just having one of them with the gun set on it, preferably the one that's at the end that has the most like reach. Because I used to have that problem a lot, and that's what I do now. And also, it means if you want to manually control part of that arm, like for instance, these guys are set up in the control bar to only use the end, the elbow controller essentially, because obviously you can't control 2 turret controllers at once. But what it means is when I take control of that section of the arm isn't trying to shoot stuff as well. Because if you've got the gun set up to both turrets, if you control one, the other one can still fire that gun as much as it likes. So yeah, have one with the camera and have one with the camera and the gun, and you might get better results, hopefully. I've never had much of an issue with it myself since I started doing it that way. So again, I keep getting distracted. So we're going to have this angle changed greater than 10, because anything less than 10, between 10 and 0, seems to have issues registering at high speeds. So when that goes round one full rotation, it will trigger this timer. So we can then stick a bit of RPM in there, and as that rotor spins round, it'll trigger those legs. And we can whack it up to 60 RPM, and that's alright. It's a decent speed, but that's the most we're going to get out of a rotor, and it's not quite as fast as I'd like. So if I stick it back down to 30 and then add in the second event controller, angle changed, walk cycle rotor, we'll stick it at the opposite end of the degree spectrum. So 180 degrees away from 10 degrees is 190 degrees, and when it hits that point it will also trigger the walk cycle timer. So now we get double the speed for half the RPM, and if we really wanted to, crank that up to 60 and it can go real quick now. So for now I'll just have it at 40. And that is pretty much the basics of how I set up a walk cycle. And you can see all the lights on my toolbar at the bottom blinking away. And if I take that walk cycle rotor and turn it on and off, it stops the walk cycle, because there is nothing spinning for those event controllers to register. If I turn it back on again, it starts doing that again. And then we can control that walk cycle in the most basic form by turning that rotor on and off, but I want it to be a little bit more complex than that. And I would also like it to have an on and off system, so it can reset to a default position. When it's stopped, and I would like it to be able to get into its starting position when it starts. So, like all the others, or most of the others, some of the others, we shall build another 2 timer blocks. We will have a stop and a start. So that will be walk, start, and that will be walk, stop. So when we start the walk cycle, first thing we want it to do is put the legs into the position they are in now. So you need to turn on and off the appropriate lights to get it into that position. One needs to be off, means that'll be on, which means that'll probably be off. Nope, wrong, that one's on, that one's off. So that'll put them into that position, and then we can turn on all of the walk cycle stuff. So we'll turn that on, we'll turn that on, we'll leave that alone for now, because we might need that for other things, and we will turn on the walk rotor. And for the stop cycle, we will do a very similar thing, but in reverse. So the first thing we'll do is stop the walk rotor and turn them off, and then we will turn all of these lights back on. So that should hopefully return all the legs to a default position, set all the legs into a position, and then start the cycle. And then we can trigger that to stop it, and then we can trigger that to start it. And we can trigger that to stop it, and we can trigger that to start it. Cool. So I now have a start and a stop button, and when that starts and stops, it turns on and off all these parts. So we can stop that, start that. As you can see, all those lights are blinking away there. If we hit stop, it turns off all the walk cycle stuff, turns on all the lights, and returns everything to a default position. So, what I'd like to do now is make that a little bit quicker. There's bugs and ants and things. I've got quick little legs, quick little skittery legs. So let's have a look first at these rotors. Let's double it, why not? Let's make it 12. Now from there we can work out what we need to make everything else. That's 12, that's minus 12, that one is 12, and that one is minus 12. So if I hit start, yeah, they move much quicker, which means we need to move the leg hinges and the second set of leg rotors much quicker too. So let's have a look at the other set of leg rotors. Let's move all of these at 12 RPM as well, and get them to match the other section of the leg. And 12, so let's have a look at that. So that walk cycle, speed that up a bit. In fact, we will stop that first and we'll increase those leg hinges. They should all be the same. Let's make them all 12. So we can speed that walk cycle rotor up a little bit. You know what, let's just stick it on 60. Yeah, that's the basics for now of its walk cycle. So if we copy and paste that, have a quick look, see how well that walks unassisted without any other help. It's a good idea to see if you can get your mechs walking by themselves first. Oh, look at that. It moves, it projects itself forwards somewhat without any other kind of assistance, no gyro, no thrusters, no nothing, so that's a good sign. They can actually travel forward. So, if we wanted to, we could add some sort of foot to the end. Now, these little guys have been doing alright with just blocks. As the smaller ones, if you try and put suspensions on them, the grip and the way the friction mechanics work in this game seems to cause a lot of issues with small mechs. So, it works alright-ish with him, because he's a bit bigger and got a bit more weight to him. But he has his own issues, which I need to work out. So, for now, I'm going to try it with blocks, and then see if I need to then use suspensions instead. So, let's use something spiky. We could do it that way, we could do it that way, do it that way. Oh, that'd make it kind of flat to the floorish and give it a bit of potentially more surface area on the floor. That way. I'll give it a go like this for now, see how well that works. Because with the angle of the legs, the angle of that block's actually pretty flat. So it might help a little bit. Yeah. Got some feet like that, they look kind of cool. Right, these last two blocks in here, I'm going to shove some gyroscopes. Or should I? Actually, I might want them for the control blocks. So let's actually stick the gyros. Stick them here. Stick a pair of them in there. And then we could have a remote block near the front for me to control it with, and a flight block at the back for the mech to control it with. Well, for the mech to control itself. What other? I need flight block, I need task block, I need an offensive block at the bare minimum. So let's stick an offensive block for targeting. No, I'll stick on this side. Let's stick task block for following and offensive block for fighting. And we'll have it follow me at a range of 10 meters. It's not got any thrusters at the minute, so it doesn't matter. None of that, none of that, none of that. And then we'll quickly and very crudely just slap a big battery on the back of it so it's got some power. See how well that works. AI blocks on, but that doesn't really matter right now. Build vision, sound, that was the one. Yeah, I knew it was one of them. I've got both of them running on pretty much all of my games, so I can never remember which one it is, and occasionally they get updated. And I'm not sure which one's been updated, but build vision, yeah, that's the one. No worries, man. You had any luck with your robot arms? Right, so... Did I set all that up? AI on. Right, let's have a look and see how you're doing. Oh, he's turning to look at me. There you go, he's got enough gyro to spin on the spot and look at me. That's good. Oh, no worries, man. If you do have any other issues with arms, another thing that I should mention, but I don't know whether a lot of people think about it or are aware of it, share inertia tensor. Really, 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 really important for doing flappy things with lots and lots of rotors and lots of hinges. The general rule of thumb for share inertia tensor that I use to make things nice and stable is to set it on every rotor and hinge after the one that connects it to the main body. Leave it off on that one. For example, that one is off, but turn it on for all the other ones, and it'll share the physics of those rotors and hinges between each other, and it helps stabilize. Oh, hello, Alpha. Space engineers taught me why we use wheeled platforms. Yeah. As cool as mechs are, they are totally not practical. Because of the amount of effort you would have to put into building systems to make them not fall over. And respond to dynamic terrain differences and all the kind of things that we do subconsciously without thinking about it. Yeah, it treats them all as one subgrid, and yeah, it helps. It seriously helps stabilize flappy weapons. Like, say, if I take this one and set, where's his arms? There they are. Take all his arms, set them to target just me. You'll see they're nice and pretty stable. Whereas if I go into those arm bits and pieces and take share inertia tensor off everything. When I get out, you can see they're all flappy and horrible and jiggly and doing mad bollocks. And that's because they are all fighting with each other and all the physics is doing mad nonsense. So if you take every single one except for the ones that are connected to the main body, which will show up in white in your control panel, stick share inertia tensor on, they're all nice and silky smooth again, pretty much. And obviously the more subgrids you add onto it, the less helpful that is. But it's super, 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 super important for doing subgrid craziness. Let's set all that back to what it should be. There we go. So, oh yeah, we were playing with you. And what we needed to do... Oh, cheers, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, I've got all sorts of ridiculous mech setups. If you go and look on my Steam page, I've got a very, very, very old world save I uploaded that's got a full-scale Mecha Godzilla and a full-scale Mecha King Ghidorah. And there's a lot of subgrids on those things, and there's a lot of turret controllers controlling all the different sections of King Ghidorah's 3 different heads, and it's so janky and over the top and ridiculous, but it actually works, and I'm proud of it. Right, so what was I doing? I need to quickly pop something with a display screen on there so I can turn on your walk start cycle. So, with the absolute basics, no thrusters and just a gyro. You can walk a little bit. You can do about 1 meter a second, he's not too bad. That's with no additional bits. That's not too bad. Alright, so what I need to do is I also need to get some reactors into this thing, and my plan for that is to stick a conveyor port in there and have a reactor either side, and then at the back for now I'm just gonna plonk a little container and stick some uranium in it. Where's my uranium? There it is. There we go, it's got some reactor power now. Cool, so, those feet are a little bit jank. Let's see how he responds with short suspensions on the ends of his legs, like the spider has. There it is. Right, suspension settings. So these are going to drag along the floor, so we need to give it a little bit of slide. Doesn't need any power, does need strength, offset's fine, 25 friction, doesn't need any of that. Let's start his walk cycle and go. How well do you get on? Ooh, you get on much better with some suspension on your legs. Might even need to tone that down a bit. You're a bit hoppy and skippy, but look at you go. Yeah, this is what I mean about putting suspension on really small mechs. The friction mechanics in this game on really small mechs with a really low mass. Oop, Jesus. Even at 25% friction, the way they catch on the voxels makes him a bit springy. But look at him go on his own. It's not too bad, that. I might actually need to reduce his step a little bit because those suspensions are going to clang, but he is now going 2-3 meters a second on his own. Something with an interface. There it is. One of them on there now. Task block. AI behavior on. There you go. Follow me. Yeah, so, ooh, yeah, he's doing. He's not doing too bad. He's a bit springy and a bit flicky side to side, but can reduce the friction in the wheels down a little bit more potentially. Yeah, he's not too bad. How well do these work with large grid? What do you mean, building mechs or doing this kind of thing in large grid? It's more or less the same. Just bigger physics, so you have to use a lot more force. And you have to, you pretty much have to build large grid mechs with suspensions on the feet, otherwise they'll just smash their own legs to pieces. Can I spawn this into this game without it breaking? There you go, that is a large grid mech. And his leg setup is very similar to the dog's. And I think there might be a few mods in this that aren't in this game that was giving me shit before. But I'll see if I can get it to walk. I shouldn't have broken anything it needs to walk. Still not finished building this thing. It was half an idea I did a long time ago, not got around to finishing. What have I got? What controls are on that toolbar from a while back? Manual walk, on. There we go. Yeah, it's not much different working in large grid. You just got to think about much bigger masses and velocities and stuff, like, because this guy, even though he looks like he's moving quite slowly, can do like 10-15 meters a second, and when you suddenly stop at that speed, it all horribly lurches forward and does a little bounce. So working in large grid isn't much different. You've just got to think bigger and think slower, because big things look like they're moving slower, but they're actually moving much, much faster. So, what were we doing? We were gonna change his feet. Try this instead, because that seemed to work better than just having blocks. Oh, cheers, man. Yeah, that griffin thing, it was just an idea I had a while back. I wanted to try and make a giant... Basically, I wanted to make a large grid mech that can fly and has stupid wings, and I probably should have shown them off, but there's a lot of stuff going on in this game already. There's actually a video on my YouTube page of that mech. If you go digging through, I think it's in my originals playlist. But there is a video of that thing in action, as well as a few other, well, lots of other stupid mechs I've designed. So suspensions reminds you of Zoids. That was kind of in the back of my head, I think, when I was designing that thing. It always tends to either be Zoids or Ghost in the Shell or various other things, lots of other mech related stuff. Right, so let's take that off there. That doesn't need to be on there. They don't need any power. In fact, they don't need to be on. They're just a power drain when they're on. Strength 100. Friction. Let's put that to 15, maybe. Oh, I got Ghost in the Shell is literally my favourite anime in the entire world. That was, in fact, Ghost in the Shell was the entire inspiration for me getting into building mechs in this game in the first place. I've got lots of Ghost in the Shell builds, and lots of Gundam Wing and Cowboy Bebop and various other anime inspired builds that I've done in Space Engineers over the years. Oh yeah. I've got I'm a big fan of Armored Core myself. In fact, if you go looking through my YouTube page, you'll find some of these Armored Core units that I have built. And this one is currently on Steam and Mod.io for anybody that wants to play with it. It's got a full interior cockpit. Obviously the scripted screens don't work on the console version properly, but all of the walk controls do. It is manual controlled, so I am pressing the forward key there, and I'm pressing the left key to turn left, and I'm pressing the right key to turn right. And it's running real slow in this game because it is lagging the hell out of the sim speed. It's also got a skimmer mode so that it can move forwards and skate along the floor like they do in Armored Core. Ooh! And it's also got flight controls, so it can fly. And it's got about 1,000,000 billion event controllers inside it to make all of the arms and legs move and do stuff when you fly around. But yeah, if you want to play with him, he is currently on Steam and Mod.io. And I'm going to remove him because he was seriously tanking my sim speed in this game. Because there's already too many moving parts around here. Oh yeah, there's loads of good scripts that you can use for doing all the control stuff. I've just been on a bit of a tangent doing things vanilla style. Like, I've got a whole bunch of mechs that use the advanced walker script to function, and some have got like gyro stabilization and scripts and various other things. But recently I've just been on a vanilla kick, because there's a lot of things that you can do with scripts that you can actually do with event controllers. So I've been trying to figure out how to do as many of those things as possible. Right, after showing off all of that nonsense, where the hell was I up to? Oh yeah, I'm sorting out these feet. So we decided we were going to have feet on this, because they seem to work better than just blocks. This thing's already got a bit too much mass. Just using blocks is alright for some smaller things, like these things only weigh about 15 tons, so they're not too bad. And the little thruster helps propel them, but this guy's nearly 20 tons, and he kind of needs his feet. So, we've got that. That was going to be the basics. So, other things I wanted to do. Other things include, I want to make this like an ant. So, like I said before, I want it to have like a segmented body. So if I want to do a segmented body, I need to make the other segments. Who's clanging? I hear clanging, slamming into... Oh, it's you. You're stuck on that barrier. I haven't quite worked out or quite perfected the AI for the pigs yet, because they're so small. So occasionally they get stuck on things. But yeah, they're little robot pigs. The walkers are pretty decent, getting around, and as you'll see, those two will stop, they'll get in each other's way, and then the AI blocks will go, sod that, I'll go to the next waypoint instead. And then they'll turn out of the way until their sensors turn their walk cycles back on. That's a point. I need to build a sensor to control the walk cycle, which means I need to think about armouring this body up a little bit, maybe. Because I'm not going to be able to put much armour under there. Ooh, I might just get away with putting that there. Is that going to scrub? Don't see any sparks, so that's a good sign. Okay, I think there's just enough room there. That's not scrub. Cool, right. Let's see if we can get away with that then. So that can be there, that can be the underside of the body. we can potentially armour the rest of it up the same way. That can be the undercarriage for it. Sensor. And again, let's think about the head. How do I want to do that? A head that can turn and lift. Let's try. Let's try. Not like, oh, it's going to be like a stupidly long neck. That might be a bit much. About if we cut that block out and replace it with an advanced rotor. There's that rotor. 90, 0. There you go. 0 is facing up. So we have that like that. Now that at full extension. Do I ever build missiles? Oh, sorry, I didn't see your messages there. You spent 700 hours learning automatons and event controllers. Yeah, well, they're fairly new blocks, so I imagine people are still figuring out a lot of the stuff you can do with them. I know I am. I keep figuring out things all the time, like that thing that I showed you all earlier with the crane arm. I literally only figured that out the other day. I was pissing about with something else and the idea came to me and I thought, what if, can I do that? And apparently I could. So that's another thing that event controllers are good for. Like I said, they're my favourite block at the minute because you can do so much with them. Right, so we could try having a head that does that instead. Doesn't need to have full left and right, that'll be a bit much, I reckon. So then that could be the basis of the head, and then the head would need at least a... Oh yeah, I just armour the box and put a railgun on top. Yeah, the problem with railguns, I love railguns, but when you're working in small grid, they require an exorbitant amount of power to run. Like, where is it? Oh, it's in here. Hang on. There's my door. Inside my base, I have been building a docking station for some of these mechs. This one in particular is equipped with one railgun, and to get that single railgun working I had to equip this mech with an additional 8 extra small grid reactors, because that was the only way to get that thing to power up, well, to recharge. Because when you fire a railgun, is it number 8? There you go, instantly using 82% power. If I turn off all of those reactors that I added, the additional ones, it is instantly in the red. And that is my biggest problem with railguns. They are really cool, but they just require too much goddamn power to run them. Oh yeah, cheers man. Yeah, I've built 2 so far. I need to build another 4. I've put one of the computers in place for it. because each one has a little, like, computer system that runs all the animations. I just need to reprogram it all for that docking bay, and it takes ages, and I just can't be bothered at the moment. It took me like a whole day just to do these two. Right, there you go. We got in place. Docking sequence shoves us into place. Everything grips on. We lock in. Spin around. You can see all the lights on that computer blinking as the stages progress. That locks in, and then that docks, and then we're good to go. Yeah, eventually I will get around to building the other four. But I need to close this door because these mechs get confused by it. And then they try and walk into the base, and then they get stuck in there. Those are the limitations of their AI. Oh yeah, the assault cannon's good. The assault cannons are good. The other issue with assault cannons, again, when you're working in such a small grid form, is if you've got two together and you fire them, they've got a lot of kick. Like, a lot of kick. To the point where they actually make this 20-ton mech jump back 6 feet with each shot. The dogbot with the assault cannon on it originally had 2, and every time they fired, he would do like 3 somersaults backwards. And after a lot of testing and a lot of fiddling around, I decided I just had to reduce him down to 1. And even that makes him kick back quite a bit when it fires. So yeah, the big guns are cool, but they both have their different drawbacks. One requires an insane amount of power, and one is just insanely powerful. Yeah, I suppose you could quite easily build a recoil system into a gun. It'd be totally doable. Just trying to do it at such a small scale would probably ruin the aesthetic design of it. But yeah, it'd totally be possible to build a recoil system into a big gun. So, for a basic head setup, I want it to be able to shoot with its face. And I want it to be kind of bug-like. So I want it to have like almost little mandible type things. So my plan is maybe 2 of them, or maybe have the older versions because they're a bit stubbier. Have the older ones down there. Right, so I do it like that and give him 10 and 10. And a little bit of braking torque. And then give his head rotor 10 and 10. I always start small when I'm setting these things up, and then I can adjust as necessary. That's looking down. Let's give him minus 20, not 20. Minus 30. And also, while we're here, Share inertia tensor. There we go. We've given them another 10 degrees either side. So 20 and 20. Maybe give him 30 either side. I can get in there. There we go. Minus 30 and 30. Not bad. Right, the next issue would be torque controller. I want one for the head, and I want one for his tail end. And the tail end. What do I want to do with that? That is a good question. We want to do a tail gun. We could do essentially the same thing the opposite way around. So let's try getting a bit closer so I can see the second letters. There we go. 0 is facing up. That makes life simple. Oh yeah, no worries, man. Yeah. Feel free to watch on whatever platform you feel comfortable with. Like, if I wasn't streaming, I'd have like at least one YouTube page up with music and other stuff on. But I don't want to get in trouble for listening to music on YouTube while I'm streaming because someone will copyright claim me, and I don't want to do that. Right, so back end of this. Do it the same way, do it like that. Is there any other functional blocks that I might need to put into its face? Not really, not right now, anyway. The only other thing he might need, well, the only thing he will need is a camera. So, let's give him a bit of shape to his face. In fact, let's steal that other colour I've been working with. I've been doing all the interiors in the dark colour and then all the armour plating in a brighter colour. Or lighter colour. Grey isn't really much brighter than another kind of grey. Dun, dun, dun. That's the wrong one. Now, I might just do, like, where is it? That block. I'm liking that block more and more recently. I'll just do something real simple for now, so that I can plop a basic camera on top. Because I can greeble the shit out of him all day long. I just want to make sure he's functional for now. So, we'll call that the head rotor. And we'll add a bit of braking torque. And the rest of that is basically fine. We'll call that head hinge. That's already got braking, torque, and shear inertial sensors, so that's fine. All that head gun L01. R01 and camera. Right, so that's going to be a basic head setup. If we've got space and room later on, I might do some silly stuff with mandibles and maybe some other moving parts, but we'll see how this works now. Easy ways. Yeah, so do I. Really wish you could print subgrids. If you could print subgrids, like project them, then that'd be problem solved. There's a few scripts that I know of that can project subgrids and do stuff like that, and I don't know why they don't make it a base game thing. Because the biggest problem with building mechs in a survival game is once it's broken, it's not easily printable. Like if you build a fighter as a single grid, you can make a blueprint of it, set up a printer, and you can just have a factory making them on repeat all day long. But oh, yeah, it doesn't have a save set. Yeah, see, I've only heard of that thing. I've not actually used it myself, so I'm not massively familiar with how it works. But yeah, if it's just a plugin and it doesn't have a save setting, then oh well. Right, so tail end. I want to get some other kind of weapons into the back end of this thing, and I'm thinking I might use the abdomen end to store the turret controllers. So, what could I do for an abdomen? I want to have it at least. I don't want it to be too big, but I don't want it to be too small. Head is 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks long, technically. What would 5 blocks long be like? That doesn't look too bad. Right, what could I do with an abdomen weapon? What could I do with it? I'd need it to be able to lift a fair bit higher than the head. So say it could lift up to -60 and drop down to 0 at its lowest point. That way it won't hit the floor. And it could lift up like that. That might end up being too high though, because then when I end up armouring it, I'll try 50. So I'd want some kind of gun on the end, preferably on its own controller. So I would need one controller for the head, one controller for the tail, potentially another controller for a weapon up here. So, if I put, let's say, let's build 3 build 3 turret controllers on the arse end. That way, that could be the control unit for the head. I can do that, and then we could have one controller to do this set of rotors and hinges and that controller to do another one up here, because otherwise the gun will only be able to point straight into the sky. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So I want it to be 5 blocks long-ish. So let's chop that off and replace it with another advanced rotor. Let's set it up so it's, yep, 0's pointing forward. That makes more sense to me. Yeah, let's slap some shear inertia tensor on there. Then we could have a hinge on there for the end, and then on the end of that we, for now, just have a really rough kind of weapon design. Just stick that, and I'll just stick 2 more Gatling guns on it for now. Have that as like a tail, and then that could point. Knowing it's shooting the back of its own head. We'll make that -50 for now. And it could, when it resets to 0, what angle is that? 0 is there. Yeah, leave it at that for now. Yeah, we'd have something sort of like that kind of weirdness, maybe. Right, so that could be, let's sort these tail rotors out and try and make some sense of them. So let's put a bit of braking torque on that. Oh, it's a bit too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here we go. Again, let's give this, give it 20 and 20. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable amount either side. So there it is. Tail rotor. It's 201 for center. And that is all good. Tail hinge 01. No, it's not too bad. Ah, braking torque. That'd be a good idea. Up a little bit, especially if it turns off. Yeah, that looks fine. And we've got this one. Let's give it, give this one 20 degrees either side as well for now. Yep. Oh, you know what I did? I built that the wrong way round. Like, fucking idiot. There we go. Now the conveyor connectors will actually connect to each other. No, let's have the guns that way around. And for now, a basic camera setup. Tail gun L01. Tail gun R01. Yeah, that'll be fine for now. We can adjust all those settings later. Tail rotor C02. And then that, what did we do with that? That needs braking torque. Yeah, braking. Right. Tail hinge C02. Right, let's set up these things. Head, rotor, head, hinge, head, camera, head, guns. We'll turn all of that off. Turn all that off. And just have it aim at me. I can test it. And we've got. I didn't get around to naming them, did I? Tail 01 and tail 02. So while we're here, tail rotor 02, convenient. Tail hinge 02, camera tail, you're going to control the guns, and the other one isn't. Oh, hang on. Bum 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 bum, tail rotor, C01. And tail hinge C01. You can use the camera, but you're not using the guns, because you'll just cause problems if you do. Right, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that off, turn that on, turn that off. They can aim at me. Ooh, looks like they are already. That can aim at me, that can aim at me, that can aim at me. Right. Yeah, that was bound to happen. The control suit's too close. Let's increase your range of movement on that significantly. Let's give it 45 and 45. That way you can aim much further around. And we'll adjust that head as well a little bit. Actually, the head really can't really lift much further back. Yeah, that'll do for now. All those kind of settings can be fiddled with later. Right, that can go off, that can go off, that can go off. Right, so that's kind of the basics. I do still need to decide where I'm going to stick some kind of conveyor port. It does need a conveyor connection somewhere. Maybe right under there where that block is. Yeah, it's gonna have to be there, isn't it? Yeah, okay. We'll stick a connection port under there, and then that means there'll be a way into the mech. We could also probably do with ammo storage. I haven't put any containers in there. Do is use some of these blocks in the middle and turn them into ammo containers instead. Now, I'm just going to stick a couple of them in there so we don't break things when we do that. Oh well, I'll just reset that up, it didn't take long. Conveyor, not conveyors, storage. We'll do 2 for now. Oh, what's he doing, you stupid block? Don't make me piss around. There we go. Don't need me building. What was that? The head. Head rotor. Head hinge. Head camera. Good. Right. Actually, I need to make sure everything's the right orientation. So, head, control, up and down is right, left and right are kind of the wrong way around. Swap them around. So, azimuth, let's make that -10, make that 10. That will make it 20. -20 and 20. There you go. That's kind of what I wanted. It's not got the best range of movement, but it's like that. I'll have the neck stick out like a giraffe. Right, that'll do that one. Tail 01. Let's have a look at you. Left and right are the wrong way around. Up and down are the wrong way around. Everything's backwards. -20. -20. Up, down. Oh, that was the right way around. I just screwed up left and right. Left, right, up, down, up, down. Oh, that's the back of my head hitting the control seat. Right, that's that one. Then C02. And bum bum, where is it? Dum dum, dum dum, dum dum. Control. Ah, that one's all good to go. Cool, sweet. So, let's make that 20 like all the others. Right, groovy. Take these yellow blocks out. Right, so now that we've got all of that sort of stuff in place, where was I going to put this sensor? I need, actually, to be honest, I really need to armour this up a little bit. Think about that kind of thing. Oh, I'm going to get that in there because of the side of that hinge. So, could potentially do something like that. Something like that around the head. So it's got a bit of movement, a bit of space for that. Which means there'd end up being a gap there, which I could fill with a sensor. Slap that on the front of there. And that would be the walk cycle sensor. Turn that on, we will turn that on. No, not antenna range, sensor range, there we go. Right, that field is going to turn off and on the walk cycle when things get inside it. Let's reduce everything down to 0 first. It's easier. Right, so we are left with front, and that is poking out that far. Right, so no detect players, small grid, large grid, stations. That's fine. That's the front, is it? Cool. Right, we'll make that 7.5 for now. Then left. How far is that? Three. What, 3.5 for now? 3.5. 3.5. Bottom. Underneath. All that 3.5. See what that looks like. Be a bit much actually. Let's just make that 3 meters for now. Top extent can be 0. Back can be 0. That's fine. So when that detects something, it will trigger the walk stop, and when it stops detecting something, it will trigger the walk start. Right, everything's switched on. There we go. So that'll now walk around, and then when it bumps into something it detects, it will stop. And when it no longer detects something in its way, it will keep walking. That's how this dude's working. As you can see, his sensor field is on because I've left it on his sensor. As he stops detecting things, he walks, and as he detects that grid again, he stops. A bit more, a little bit more, and there you go. Right, so that is how he is going to walk forward and walk around. Stop that. turn that sensor off for now. Right, let's give it a little test run, because we're coming up on 3 hours and I'm going to call this quits in a minute and go get something to eat. But it is Saturday afternoon and I have nothing better to do, so once I've eaten I will come back and play with more of this mech, because I'm quite enjoying doing this weird build. So let's quickly do a little test run of this guy before we bugger off. Alright, so we're going to have to build a proper control system at some point, but for now we need to... Yeah, eating is good and I'm hungry. But like I said, I will absolutely be back probably in the next hour to do some more of this, for anyone that wants to carry on watching my streaming nonsense. So what do I need to do? I need to turn on the AI on these blocks, because I want it to walk around and follow me. Light moves on already. The only other thing then should be the sensor. Turn that back on. That should trigger all the other bits that we need. Let's take that out. Take that out. There goes his walk cycle. Not too bad at following me. A little bit tweaking. That stops. I hear a bit of clanging going on in him, so that's something I need to fix there. Might actually need another gyro or two. But he's not even got any thrust. Oh, in fact, that'll be something. I need to put at least one thruster on him, because the AI blocks tend to have. They just get moody if you haven't got at least one thruster. But he is currently walking and following me at about 4 meters a second without any thrust assist right now. That is purely just mechanical friction going on. So that's pretty good. All the other small mechs have pretty much needed a thruster to help them push them forwards. But he's working much better than I'd hoped. Oh yeah, sound. Cheers, Leo. Yeah, I will be back in the next hour or so to do more of this. So, like all the other YouTubers say, hit that like and subscribe nonsense, and hopefully you'll get a notification. YouTube's funny with notifications. Like, I'm subscribed to my own channel with my other profile just to see how it responds to the general, like, public, and yesterday I started streaming and it wasn't until 45 minutes later that YouTube let my other account notify me, like, know that I was streaming. It's just like, yeah, YouTube, I know, I've been doing it for 45 minutes. Cheers for telling everybody. So I'm not quite sure how the YouTube notifications work in real time. They tend to be a bit crap. But yeah, it's not working too bad. Feet are still catching a little bit too much for my liking. Might have to try and swap them over to some kind of blocks instead, maybe, or just severely reduce the friction on them. But yeah, right, Weird Ant Robot isn't doing too badly, and his walk control's working quite well. Spiderbot's working pretty well now. He seems to have gotten most of his kinks sorted out. Oh yeah, I still need to set up the weapon controls on the Spiderbot and actually give him a test. But yeah, these guys are working quite well. go, he's got enough gyro on him at least to allow him to turn out the way of other objects. Because for some reason AI blocks will never ever ever seemingly use the maximum power they need to, or potentially can do, with gyros and thrusters. Always seem to dip about. But yeah, right, I am gonna leave that there for now, and I'm gonna go get some food. And when I come back in about an hour, I'll put some more armour on this dude and some thrusters to help him move along, and we'll try doing a bit of weapon testing with him. I think he's going to need a bit more weight on the front of him because he's got that big heavy tail. You can already see he's got a little bit of backwards lean when he's walking around. But yeah, I'm going to leave that there for now. So thank you for watching, thank you for chatting, and I hope you all learned something. I do, every time I play this game I learn something new. So yeah, I'll be back in a bit, and goodbye for now. Cheers guys.